All right, I am here with Justin Fulkerson from the Alaska Center for Conservation Science, and we are at Mosquito Lake, which is located really close to the administration building, and so it's appropriately named because administrators tend to be bloodsuckers. Justin's going to talk a little bit here about wetlands delineation, but first he's going to give us a brief introduction to what he's doing and what he's thinking about.
Hey there, so I'm sure you've already seen some lectures on the importance of wetlands and generally what wetlands are and the functions that they provide to the ecosystem. So Doran has asked me to come out to the field and show you a little bit of wetlands in person. So I've done some training for wetland delineations down in the lower 48 and in California and Idaho, and the principles that you learn for what wetlands are in the lower 48 are a lot different than what they are for Alaska. So there are definitions that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers uses for what is a wetland, and those were presented to you earlier in some slides, so you should refer back to those. But some of the funny things that I've learned being back in Alaska is the criteria that you use for what wetlands are in the lower 48 and different regions of the lower 48. If you use those definitions for Alaska, the entire state of Alaska would be classified as one big wetland. So Alaska has slightly different definitions of what wetlands are, and they fall under three different criteria that you should be looking at. One is the hydrology, two, it is the plants that are within the area, and then three, it is the soils. And within each of those criteria, you're going to look at several different indicators or little red flags that'll tell you, yes, this is a wetland. And you're not going to be using just one of those three primary indicators. You're going to be using a combination of those to tell you, yes, this is legally a wetland, or no, this is legally not a wetland. So as a wetland delineator, you would go out to the field, you do transects and plots within the area, and you'd gather all the available data. You'd enter it in a standardized form that is provided by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And then you write a slight report about it, and with some photos and the data that you share with them. Then you submit that to the Army Corps of Engineers. They review that, approve or disapprove with your findings, and then they would give the legal designation of a wetland for your project area.